Hey, good morning, everyone. It is time to get started with the show that's on in the morning, and we're here in the Bozard Ford studio. All right, first thing we got to get going, and we got to say, we got a great show for you. We have an amazing show. We have St. Augustine High School Yellow Jackets football head coach Brian Braddock and athletic director Quinterrance Cooper in studio. We're going to talk a little bit of football, a little bit of St. Augustine High School sports, and we're real excited about that. But the first thing we got to do is we got to tell you about the amazing Bozard Ford. Since 1949, Bozard Ford Lincoln has been more than just a dealership. It's a local legacy built on trust, family values, and a commitment to doing things the right way. Proudly serving St. Augustine beyond for over 75 years. Bozard's offers award-winning service, unbeatable selections, state-of-the-art facilities with 91 climate-controlled service bays, a quick lane for no appointment-needed maintenance, and even Ford's Garage restaurant on site. Recognized with the Triple Crown Award and President's Award, Bozard Ford Lincoln is where hometown service meets national excellence, great pricing, friendly faces, and a better buying experience. Located right there at I-95 and State Road 16, Bozard Ford Lincoln. They are driven to inspire. Now we also got to give a big shout out to our other sponsors: Fidus Roofing, Old Town Trolley, Bin 39 Wine Bar, B&S Signs, Chiba Hut Toasted Subs, St. Augie's Pizza, Chris Lucero Bail Bonds, and St. Augustine Handy House. Please, if you would, get out there and support our sponsors. They keep us on the air. They're the ones that keep us going, and we really appreciate it. Blake, how you doing back there, man?
Hold on 1 second. I'm doing great back here.
You said hold on 1 second, like you got lost or something. Are you okay?
I'm doing all right. I just had to put up our image of the day in the background.
Oh, okay. You're. I don't know what that is. I can't see it.
It's someone doing like posting TikTok. I was like, so how can a mirror recognize what's in front? What's there?
Okay, that story's already taken too long.
Well,
it's already taken too long. You got to be quick with it here.
Hey, well, I had to do something physics related for Coach Braddock.
There you go. Yeah, we have Coach Braddock, Blake's former physics teacher, right. And Quinterrance Cooper, just world class athletic director of the world here, who I remember as an 8-year-old. So, so we got two St. Augustine greats in here, and we're so happy to have you guys in. But we're going to do question of the day. You guys have to participate in this. I know you guys studied all night long for it. And the question of the day, and Blake, you're going to go first. What famous coach do you look up to the most? What famous coach do you look up to the most? Blake, what you got? Well, we let the other coaches think about it.
I'm going to say it's I think I have to go more a little bit of college and just say Nick Saban, because how well he's able to get the players get them understand the power of football, the power teamwork and all that. So I definitely have to say Nick Saban's definitely very inspirational.
All right, you
Blake, you took mine, man. I was gonna say Nick Saban. But I tell you
I don't think it's a wrong answer.
It's not a wrong answer, but I tell you what, locally, Joey Wiles, he definitely resembles all of what Nick Saban is from a consistency and a standard standpoint. So,
and he is famous.
And he is famous. he is famous in the coaching world, whether people like it or not.
Yeah, he is famous.
So yeah, Joey Wiles would be. He's definitely one we get look up to.
All right. Coach Braddock, who you got?
Yeah, it's hard to pick one. I ever since I started coaching football, especially as a head coach, I probably root more for coaches now when I watch college football or NFL football. But I'd say the most famous one that I enjoy reading about or listening to is probably Greg Popovich. But on a more day-to-day level, maybe college football related, they're not as famous. But Matt Campbell at Iowa State is one that I admire a lot, and then probably after that, I identify a lot with Shane Beamer in South Carolina. I like how brutally honest he is.
Oh yeah, there's no filter there.
Yeah,
you're getting what you get.
Yeah. So I like I like kind of the cultures of those programs. So very family oriented, also successful.
Yeah. No, and I'm going to shock people because I am a University of Miami fan, but I got to go with Bowden. I mean, just Bobby Bowden. I met him a couple times, and yeah, gummit. I mean, the consistency of where he had it, and Saban, I feel the same way about. I didn't like Saban because of what he did to my Dolphins, but but the consistency, and I think he's in it for the right. For the kids in the right way. And my other one that I like, and I'm not even a Clemson fan either, but I like Dabo too. I like just the way I think they really genuinely care about the kids, and everybody we listed, I think that's the heartbeat of being a coach. So, all right. Quick check of the weather. It is scattered showers, and it's going to be hot and muggy. Shocking. So, and that is brought to us by Ben 39. Discover one of St. Augustine's best kept secrets. Ben 39, tucked inside the St. George Inn at the north end of St. George Street. With over 95 boutique wines, 50 of them rated 90 points or higher by Robert Parker. It's a perfect spot for a romantic date night or a relaxing after work unwind. Sip by the glass or bottle in the serene courtyard setting and enjoy live music Thursday through Sunday, open daily, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Just stop by and say, I'll have what Irving's having. Ben 39, your taste to discover. All right, it's time for the Hit the Blake's traffic report. Blake, what you got out there, man?
So only one camera today, but definitely you can definitely see the traffic coming up northbound though.
Woo!
I know.
That's going northbound?
Yes, that's a mile mark 316 going up northbound, and you can see the off ramp for State Road 16 to the intersection.
It's not all the tourists going home? You think those people going to work?
Probably so.
All right.
All right, and that traffic report was brought to you by Old Town Trolley. Come aboard Old Town Trolley and experience over 500 years of history in the heart of St. Augustine. This fully narrated 9-minute tour features 22 convenient stops and covers more than 100 points of interest, including the historic landmarks like the Castillo de San Marco, the Fountain of Youth, and Flagos Historic Hotel. With open-air views and all-day hop-on, hop-off access, it is the most fun and flexible way to explore the nation's oldest city. Your ticket also includes free admission to the St. Augustine History Museum and local St. Johns County residents ride free with a full fare guest through the Hometown Pass program at hometownpass.com. Old Town Trolley, the best way to see St. Augustine, one stop at a time.
All right. We have one quick news story, and then we're going to get into our interview because we have a lot to talk about. We got a big season ahead of us. The 904 will be doing production out there at the home games, so we're real excited about that. But this first news story, it's a feel-good story. It's a good story. I like starting off Mondays with a good story. Swimmer rescued from St. Augustine Inlet after being swept offshore by strong currents. A swimmer in distress was rescued from the St. Augustine Inlet on Saturday evening after being swept 3/4 of a mile offshore by strong tidal currents. The incident occurred at approximately 6:30 p.m., prompting a multi-agency response, including St. Johns County Fire Rescue, St. Augustine Fire Department, and the U.S. Coast Guard. Multiple lifeguards entered the water to search for the swimmer, while Marine and Air Assist assets were deployed to assist the rescue operation. The swimmer was eventually located and rescued by St. Augustine Fire Department Marine 49 and was brought back to shore uninjured. Authorities have issued a warning about the strong and unpredictable currents in St. Augustine Inlet, advising swimmers to exercise caution. And the reason we did this story is next Monday we have the Marine Rescue in with us to talk about for an interview going into Labor Day weekend. There's a lot of stuff that happens Labor Day weekends. It's one of the biggest beach days. So we just kind of want to make people aware of how, and this person was very lucky. Not everybody's as fortunate as this. It's kind of finding a needle in a haystack. Swim near a lifeguard and understand the currents. So, all right, guys, I don't want to take up too much more time on the news because you guys, I want you to talk about your amazing kids that you're coaching. I have Coach Braddock and Quinterrance. I'm going to call you Coach too because you're a coach also, and it's still, to me, besides Dad, that's the best title. So I've always said that. But Coach Braddock, what drew you to being a coach? What got you to being a coach? Right off the bat.
I mean, I would say, playing sports largely impacted my life, as much as had as big an impact on my life as a high schooler as probably anything else. Outside of my home, what I learned playing sports from most of the adults involved largely shaped my values, my outlook on things, how I wanted to do things. And then not long after I left home and went to college, and it became obvious that as far as, my competitive playing days, kind of making the decision to go to a big school and go to Florida State, kind of put an end to that for me. And but I missed it a lot. I missed the competition. I missed the game, baseball and football. And so I knew pretty quickly, like, I wanted to be involved in that. And didn't necessarily know at that point in time it would be back at home. Could have just as easily, for a while there, have stayed in Tallahassee and done it there. There's a lot of great places there to coach and teach. And but I knew quickly, probably within that first semester, that was something I wanted to do.
Now, Coach Cooper, you're athletic director now, but I've known you for a long time, and you're one of my rec kids, and you're an amazing athlete. Ever since you could walk. I mean, your dad's been in sports and basketball. What kind of led you down this path in your career, and how did you get to where you're at today?
Well, I'm so thankful to be where I'm at now. But to young playing sports all through the rec, I did not want to go to college. I did not want to go to school. You know what I mean? But it was either go to work or go to school. So, I mean, when I graduated college, I came back and the only thing I wanted to do was coach. And I coached basketball, football, and track at St. Augustine High School. And doing that, I had to get a teacher certificate. And now I'm lucky to be in the position I am, to feed back into the community that fed into me. And I say it all the time, like, if I wasn't doing it at St. Augustine High School, I don't know if I'd do it anywhere else, just because of the environment that we try to create for our student athletes.
And I don't know if you remember back, there's no such thing as luck. You earned what you got.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to be there. And your family set you up for success. And I know you guys teach a lot about family when you coach. But Coach Braddock, let's talk about, you got an exciting team this season. You have Brandon James as your offensive coordinator, who was on the state team with you. He was a national champion at Florida. You have an amazing coaching staff. What I saw. Let's talk about your coaching staff a little bit and how that comes together and how important that is into building the team before you build the team.
It's in a lot of ways, it's the most important thing. And this year, one of the challenges that's my responsibility to help us navigate. You guys referred to Nick Saban earlier in the question of the day. His ability to maintain a culture and a standard amidst massive turnover year to year, I think, is far and away the most remarkable thing about his career. Mm-hmm. We had some turnover this year, had 3 or 4 coaches who had big roles move on, and but really fortunate that we've brought in several people who played in the program that, much like myself and Coach Cooper, have a vested interest that's a little bit bigger than just coaching football, mm-hmm. and are excited to be there. Now, Coach James, I believe this is going to be his 6th year with us, 5th running the offense. We have Coach Lippo, who is in the weight room with the kids every day, and that's, just like at the college level, that's pivotal. What he provides for me and for our players and the rest of our coaching staff on a day-to-day basis in the weight room is a lot more than just trying to get the kids strong. Mm-hmm. He's around them every day, so he is the one who is holding them to a very, very firm line when they're in that weight room. And our teachers know, and over time, I think we've developed a quality rapport with our administration and our staff and our faculty they know that if they need help, that we're going to partner with them, with our youngsters. So, we've got an army of people that that keep an eye on the 110, 115 kids in the football program. And not always so much to look out for them while we do, but it's really to ensure that they're abiding by a standard. And, for better or for worse, if you're a football player, it's in high school, people know who you are. And they know that you play football. And for our kids, we constantly remind them that's an opportunity. It's not it's an opportunity more than a responsibility, because you can either lead the school, you can either set the example, you can set the standard, or if you do anything that deviates from the expectation, teachers immediately will, hey, I got a football player. Administration, hey, we got a football player. And I don't view that as a negative. And I, explain to them, neither should you. But I'm grateful that I've got people on campus like Coach James, Coach Lippo, some of our other coaches. Coach Alan DeVos does a great job with our younger program. And grateful that we have an administration and a faculty that knows that we want to hold them to a standard. So it's kind of a big family that, we feel like our kids, by and large, we can't let them mess up, and I'll look at it like that. They've got a lot of eyes on them, and we keep our thumb on them.
Yeah. I'm old enough to go back before Coach Wiles. Coach Wiles kind of developed a winning culture, and you've maintained that. Was there any pressure coming in after a coach like Coach Wiles, who had so much success, and you're still a fairly young guy, and I'm wondering what was something? Did you put something on you in that first year that you feel now, okay, I'm good? Because you continued a culture and created your own culture, which is a hard thing to do coming after a coach like that.
Sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah, there was plenty of pressure, especially, leaving a place where everybody was just so thrilled that we were winning, leaving Mandarin. Everybody was just so grateful for that, and that was only going to continue to improve. So to go from that to back to an environment where what we were doing at Mandarin is what's expected at St. Augustine. So there's just a different, maybe a different outlook on that from the people who are going to critique the program. But I wasn't. So sure, there was pressure, and it doesn't help when you lose your first game, because everybody just kind of goes, "Well, what's different?" Oh, yeah. So that doesn't help either. But it's high school football at the end of the day. I've said many times, if I was making $5 million a year to coach college football, I would not have made that move, because there are too many logistical things about it. You'd have a quality of life for your family. You would have a whole lot of things that come into that decision. You have your paycheck, that I would not have done that. That's why you don't see people do that too much at those other levels. But it's not that environment. It's high school football. Yeah. It's about the kids, it's about the community. So for me to kind of, know that I was going to endure that, following a legend, that was not that difficult of a decision, because all those other things that are so superficial and so, that the world says are so important in professional and college sports, those don't really apply to high school sports. Yeah. So that made the decision, unique in that regard for me, and not that hard.
Yeah. Coach Cooper, now everyone kind of gets to see the culture of the football. How do you carry that to the other sports and the other, because you have to deal with, I don't even know how many sports, probably 20 or 30 different coaches throughout your entire high school program. How do you transfer that culture from the football side and get it across to the other coaches and the other athletes, the student athletes?
Well, I think year by year our coaches are slowly coming together as one, sort of like we want our teams to do. This year we want to be more deliberate in what we do as from a culture standpoint and a character standpoint for our kids. So I said at our meeting that we were going to be more deliberate in the character development for our kids. Right now, Coach Braddock is heading up a book club that all our coaches are going to be a part of. And we got very successful sports outside of football. But like anywhere else in any other campus, your football team kind of set the tone for the culture of the school. And we got 110 to 125 guys, and they are the most visible. When they put that jersey on Thursdays and Fridays, we want to make sure that they walk our campus and do things on our campus the way that the school would be proud of. And I think over the last couple years, you can tell even with our administration that our school environment has drastically improved because of our athletes. So it doesn't matter if it's cross country or if it's swimming or if it's basketball. Everybody know who the athletes are at our school. And our coaches do a great job of having relationships with teachers and having relationships with deans to make sure that the culture that we want to set from an athletic standpoint, it transfers into the hallways. So I think we're doing a great job of making sure we hold our athletes accountable for everything they do. They establish a great level of discipline within the school building, and I think that's just going to continue to grow.
And you were on the state championship, was it 2007?
2005.
2005. Okay, I was trying to make you younger.
I appreciate it. That's why I'm wearing a hat.
You were on that state championship team. When you went through that run, and I know a lot of young men that were on that team and went on and played at the next level. What was one of the things that kept your team focused that you can give to? Because you've had some great runs, you've had some really amazing runs in the playoffs. What are some experiences that you can guide Coach Braddock and help him with his process of when he needs to go on that big run?
Well, Coach Braddock was a part of that team. He was a coach on that team.
Yeah.
I think, and he will probably second this. That team policed themselves, and that team was one that the coaches didn't really have to police the little things that went on in the locker room, that went on in the field. I think that team was so hungry to win that the leaders on that team made sure that everybody was held accountable for the things they want to do. That was a fun year. I mean, it was.
But two of the most competitive kids I've ever been involved in were you and Brandon. I mean, you lose a game in rec league basketball at 9 years old, and Brandon would be in tears, and I'm like, Brandon, it was one game, but you were supposed to win every game, and you had that same mentality.
Well, that's the expectation. Yeah. And you bring up rec. I remember you putting me on the Hawks as a rec team, and we lost every single game. So I probably cried for 10 games, that 10 Saturdays in that season. But I think that competitiveness is what we see in our football team. You saw that Friday night. Yeah. We could have easily laid down because it was a preseason game, but you had guys just refuse to lose. And I think that's what our football program is built on. It's built on a lunch pail mentality, and it's built on, hey, no matter what, we're not done to 0-0. You know what I mean? So the clock is at 0.
All right, Coach Braddock, I want to get into some of the upcoming games and ones that, obviously this one Friday night's your true opener. Mm-hmm. You've had a couple of preseason games and stuff like that. What did you take from this past weekend besides what Coach Cooper was saying? What did you take from a positive you took from this, and one of the things that you need to work on going into Friday night's game?
Friday night, I think the most startling thing to me, because Ponte Vedra's got a very good football team, was when the game ended, we had outgained them 520 to 190, and I honestly can't recall as a head coach a game where we've had. We've had games where maybe we're up around 500, but in the state semifinal last year, we were close to 500 yards, but so was American Heritage. Mm-hmm. So that is lopsided. So maybe that speaks to the potential that this team could have. I think we had a 10-minute spurt there in the first half after the lightning delay, where you saw what we could be, where we were pretty dominant, and So I think there's some takeaways. I'm excited about a young team. We put 11 kids on the field on defense that last year in the same game, none of those kids started.
Oh, wow.
So I'm encouraged by how those kids, the way they played. Made a lot of mistakes, but I'm encouraged by the way they played, and I'm encouraged that we generated explosive plays. So there were plenty of positives. As far as something to work on that we could talk for the next 2 hours, I mentioned earlier, I think I described it as a glorious disaster. Penalties, turnovers, and special teams were all an abject disaster, to be honest. So, but the good news is those are things within our control. So, today, it's Monday. Today was the first day of the week. We'll have a little bit of accountability for all of the penalties, and we will spend a lot of time this week. Special teams will not look like that again, and we'll continue to practice. And I'm confident that we'll do a better job of protecting the football offensively. But I think that combination that combination of things between special teams and turnovers, you could basically say we had 6 turnovers, and that's how you can outgain somebody 520 to 190 and have to come back to tie.
Yeah.
So good and bad. You see the potential.
6 turnovers and a tie.
Yeah.
You had to scrap to get there.
Against a quality team.
Yeah.
So you see potential for sure, but also know what's ahead. I know the schedule we've got coming. So there's definitely team wide. There needs to be a lot of humility for the task that's upon us.
So and how do you get because there is so much build up with your program against some of the other local programs. How do you get them to understand scoreboard 0-0 when it starts?
Yeah.
And they turn that scoreboard on, and it doesn't matter. You're equal, because a lot of times I've played on great teams in my life, and it's just like we're just going to destroy these guys, and somehow these slip ups happen.
Yeah.
How do you avoid those slip ups? And do you see this as a positive of when you outgain someone 500 to 190, you beat them between the 20 and the 20, and
Sure.
The scoreboard didn't reflect exactly what it was like. How do you get your players to go in hungry against teams they look as inferior?
Well, it's interesting. Before the game Friday, I mentioned to some of our staff, I said I think this may be a good opportunity tonight for some humility. I have a lot of respect for Ponte Vedra. They do a very good job, and they're a big physical football team, and there's a reason why they're in the playoffs every year. And last year they were in the regional final in a larger classification. So, and I think maybe you'll see some of that. I would hope that we have enough sense and enough maturity to be a little humbled from Friday night and understand so much of what was in our control. If we'll just tighten that up, we could have a really good football team. So they'll certainly be reminded today. But at the same time, Coach mentioned policing yourself. It's a balance of pride and performance and humility before the task. And if you've got pride and performance and humility about how hard it is to be good and win, you can't walk off that field Friday night or go to practice today not as a competitor. That if you have those two things, if you have a healthy balance of those two things, how can you not just shut your mouth and get to work and go, pride and performance? That wasn't the best our football team can be, which is why you play those games. And we have too much pride to just, suck our teeth about that. We're not entitled to anything. But then humility before the task. Like, we got a little humility in that, you're not just going to show up and win.
Yeah.
It is hard. It is hard to consistently beat good teams. And we purposely put a lot of good teams on our schedule. If we want to win a state championship, we better play good teams before we get to October and November. So
you understand the speed of the game and
so you get hit in the mouth.
Yeah.
So somebody drags you around and you decide what you're going to do when that happens. And you don't go into panic mode if the first time that happens is in November.
Yeah, was it Mike Tyson who said everyone has a plan until they get hit?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so you got Palatka this weekend. I'm looking at your other schedule. Pedro and Bartram are here. Nice is there from the county. But I look all the way down at the bottom, and I see Mandarin there. You coached at Mandarin. Is that one kind of always on your radar as a former coach of a team like that, or is it just the prep's the same, or what's the mindset of that one? Placa's our rival, And,
Yeah, we got lots of those.
Has been for a long time. Like,
Right.
I'm,
The historic one.
yeah, I got a lot of gray in my beard, so I mean, Placa's still the rival in my mind.
Right.
But I mean, Mandarin, because you coach there, is there a little different feeling with that game?
Sure. That's unique, and I don't mince words. I mean, that 3-year period of time was incredibly special for me and my family, because just so much. The experience of going through being a head coach. Leaving a place that was I mean, life was good now at St. Augustine as the defensive coordinator, and so that place will always be special to us, especially the experience of going from the bottom of the barrel to the best team in Duval County, but outside of that, it's been 10 years, so I'll never drive by Mandarin High School or be at Mandarin High School and not think, man, that was a special few years.
Yeah.
Like, I'm grateful for it. What a time, what a time. And, no, at this point it's a quality opponent. It's a quality opponent that's going to have dudes all over the field. So again, it's an opportunity to play a school that's 30 minutes away, that's got national recruits. Should be good for the bottom line for the athletic departments. Should be a good test for both teams going into the playoffs. So that's really why we want to play it.
And I can tell you from experience, he hadn't thought about Mandarin at all. It's all Placa right now.
It's all black. Yeah.
It's all.
And that's the other thing is, I was a baseball player, so we would have 40 games.
Yeah.
So you just kind of, all right, who you got pitching, who you and you kind of it was a season, but you guys are at battle once a week, and one game can make a huge difference in everything. You slip up in baseball, you got 20 other ones to make up for it. You don't have that in the football side. We're going to do a quick Gas Buddy report and a music report, and then we're going to come back and talk a little bit more about the players and a little bit more about other sports in the fall, if that's okay with you guys. Blake, if you would, can you give us the Gas Buddy gas report?
Yes, I can. All right, the Gas by Gas report. Tell us in the comments what the gas prices are like around your neighborhood. All right. We got Sunoco at $21.99 North Ponce de Leon Boulevard at $2.84. We also have the Owens at 78 South Ponce at $2.89. The Mobile and Circle K at $2.89 on Ponce de Leon Boulevard. We also have the Sunoco at $4.50 Ponce de Leon Boulevard at $2.89. The Shell at $2.16 Ponce de Leon Boulevard at $2.89. Shell at $1.46 King at $2.89. Shell at $23.50 North Ponce de Leon Boulevard at $2.95. Gate on Mizell Road is at $2.98. The gate on US 1 North is $3.09. And the Circle K on 207 is at $3.15. That Gas by Gas report is brought to you by Chris Lucero Bail Bonds. Trust with the law, call the name St. Augustine has trusted for years. Chris Lucero Bail Bonds, available 24/7. Their experienced and compassionate team works fast to get you or your loved one out of jail and back home. From paperwork to release, they make the process simple, discreet, and stress-free. No judgment, just help when you need it the most. When the time matters, remember the name and the number. Chris Lucero Bail Bonds at 904-822-BAIL. That's 904-822-2245.
All right, and we also have our live music report today, and it's brought to us by visit staugustine.com. And at Trey Winds at 1 o'clock, we have Reggie Starrett. 4:30 at Milltop Tavern, we have Joshua Tennessee Worthy. We have Hurricanes Grill and Wings at 5 o'clock, Kevin Edwards. The Tides Oyster Company and Grill at 5 o'clock, we have Bones. Trey Winds Lounge, Mark Hartz at 5 o'clock. Prohibition Kitchen is at 6 p.m. They have Taylor Roberts. Is that a new one, Blake?
No, the Taylor Roberts has always been around for a while.
All right. We have Brett Blackshear. Man, I'm slaughtering names today. At Salt Life Food Shack at 6 o'clock. And Johnson Burns, the group we're still not sure if they actually exist, is supposed to be at Trey Winds at 9 o'clock. And that's brought to us by Fidus Roofing. When it comes to protecting your home, trust Fidus Roofing and Construction, voted Best of St. Augustine every year since 2012. As a GAF Master Elite contractor, Fidus installs GAF lifetime roofing systems and expert metal roofs built to withstand Florida's toughest weather. Going into hurricane season, guys, make sure you have a good roof. From emergency repairs to full replacements, plus pavers and gutters, Fidus delivers quality, durable, and energy savings with every job. For Fidus Roofing, give them a call at 904-355-ROOF. That's 904-355-7663. Fidus Roofing, where trust is built from the top down. All right. I also have to give a shout out because we are doing the production of St. Augustine High football games, and how we're able to do that is through our amazing sponsors for football. And we have J. Lee Construction, Barwick Bank Company, Canaan Law, Do All Air Conditioning and Plumbing, Noah Bailey Group, Rain Tree Restaurant, St. John's Family Funeral Home and Crematorium, St. John's Community Pharmacy, and Stanford Restoration. These guys are the ones that are going to allow us to see if you can't make it out to the game. We encourage you to get out to the game, but if you can't make it out to the game or you have something going on that night, you'll be able to rewatch it. But you want to see these athletes play live. I can tell you, there's nothing better than high school football on Friday night. And Coach, you have some amazing players that look like they're going to be able to possibly play at the next level. And can you talk about your offense seems to be clicking pretty well right now with what the numbers I heard, but it comes down to turnovers is what it sounded like. Can you talk about some key players when they do make it out there to the stadium to keep an eye on, and some of those that you think are key to the success of the team?
Sure. So offensively, we lose a lot of production in graduating a 3-year starter at quarterback and 2 of our receivers. But we do bring back, one of the best players in the area in Samorian Wingo. And I think Friday night he had 5 catches for a little over 200 yards. And, our job this week will be figuring out how to make sure the ball's in his hands more than 5 times.
And he's committed already, right?
He's committed to Miami.
Okay.
Yep. And so I know.
Good choice.
yeah. So I know Coach James and Coach Flaherty, our quarterback's coach. We had our staff meeting this weekend where, a lot of that is we'll just give him the ball more. Well, we had a lot of opportunities. We could have gotten him the ball more. Part of that's on our quarterbacks to recognize. I think people would be surprised at how many decisions are made on a play-to-play basis by the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And for instance, every time we run the football, we have the ability to put the ball out there on the perimeter in those guys' hands. And probably, Samorian could have probably had 300 yards if we had given him the ball when the opportunities were there. So that'll be a point of focus this week. Is we want him to have double-digit touches every game. We have a senior running back that ran for 1,400 yards last year as a junior, and Trendell Anderson. Nate Preston, junior running back, had a huge night the other night. So he's physically gotten stronger and faster, and he's poised to have a really good year. So we're excited about both of them. And then up front, we returned some guys who played a lot of football. So Marcus Owens is a 3-year starter at center, and we have a few other guys who've logged a lot of snaps. So the big thing everybody wants to talk about is replacing the quarterback, and we've got 2 junior quarterbacks that we believe in both of them, in Brenton James and Bennett Hunt, and both are talented kids. Both have differing skill sets, but we feel like we can win games with both of them, and we're excited about both of them. And they've been doing a great job, all the way back to the end of last season, through the off season up to this point. So yeah, we've got the capacity to move the ball for sure. We killed ourselves with penalties Friday night, and then obviously had a few turnovers. So if we can clean those things up, we will be difficult to stop. But we got to do it.
Yeah. And you mentioned Brenton James. I've known the James family for decades, and they're always very intelligent. They have a high sports IQ. Everyone I've coached has a high sport. Yeah. Doesn't always reflect in the classroom, but they have a high sports. Sorry, Jacques. I love you. But they all have a very high sports IQ, and putting players like that in position, and I'm sure the other quarterback also I don't think people fully understand what rides on the shoulders of a quarterback. Coach Cooper, you were a quarterback, also had a very high sports IQ. Speaking from the quarterback position, what was one of the challenges you had mastering the offense? Because you're kind of the general out there. What was one of the things you had as a quarterback that gave you the success? Because you went on to play Division I football too.
Well, I think that position, it takes a lot of help. A lot of stuff has to go right everywhere else before you can be that guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the ball got to get to you. The offensive line got to block. Wide receivers got to run routes. Running backs got to step up and block linebackers coming at them full speed. So it's a lot that goes on. But I think one of the crucial parts to that position is understanding you can't do it all by yourself. And the quicker you understand that it's going to take 10 other guys for you to be successful, it's the quicker that you can settle into that position and just do the little things extremely well. Offensively, the quarterback position is one of those ones where you can throw a ball behind the line of scrimmage and somebody takes it and run 99 yards. Guess what you get? 99 yards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's knowing those little things that no matter what happens, I just got to get the ball to the playmakers and let them do what they do. So, and the hardest part of the job is you take it so personal because everybody has their eyes on you. But I think coaching wise, we got coaches in place to take some of that burden off of our quarterbacks because we're going to put them in the best position to be successful.
All right, Coach Braddock, hearing that, how do you transfer? Because I know you knew that answer already. How do you transfer that to these new guys that are coming into they were in a backup role, and a lot of times they got some snaps in games and stuff, but now they're carrying that burden. How do you relieve some of that burden from them? I know you said that you got a center that's, I'm sure that helps that transition. But how do you take some of that mental burden off of those young quarterbacks that are just getting their feet underneath them?
Yeah, well, you have to know when to not ask too much of them. You have to know when it's time to take some of those decisions away and let them just catch the snap and hand the ball off, or maybe not have. What are they most comfortable doing? Somebody who's been out there, by the time you're in the middle of a season, you've got a bunch of starts under your belt, or if you're like Lachlan last year, you're in your third year as a starter. You can think through things a little differently in that capacity. But there's wisdom that comes. Every coach has all these ideas, and you've got all these. Every coach gets on a whiteboard and looks like a genius and all these great plays. But if you're overloading the 16-year-old teenager, too many decisions to make, they're not going to execute at a high level. And then if they're talented, you're not going to see the talent come out. So it's knowing when to push that, when a kid's comfortable enough to handle it, and knowing when to pull back on it. So, and I think you may have seen a little bit of that in a few instances, even this past Friday night. That's really our job. And it's also the job of the quarterback to communicate. And as long as there's a good relationship from coordinator, quarterback, coach to the quarterbacks, and they can tell us what they like, what they're comfortable with, what they see well, what they enjoy doing, that helps us frame things around their strengths and what they're comfortable doing.
Now, athletic director, you have multiple fall sports that are out there. Football is not the only sport that's going on. Some of them haven't begun yet. Some of them have started practices. Can you give us, I don't want to put you on pressure in case you miss one, but what are some of the fall sports at St. Augustine High School that are not football?
So we got bowling is a sport that came about 3 years ago. We got swim and dive going on right now. Volleyball, which is I'm incredibly proud of my coach right now because we don't have a gym floor right now. So it's getting replaced. So she has been to multiple schools just so we can get practices in. And we also have cross country. We have cross country, and that was the only, in golf. Those are the only sports right now going on in the fall. Incredibly proud of the tradition of our cross country team. Our cross country teams have been some of the top in the state over the last 5-6 years. Golf, we have one of the top golfers, Luke Splain, will probably be one of the top golfers in the state. Swim, we're trying to grow those numbers back up to what they used to be. And bowling is just one. We had 16 kids sign up for bowling. Really? So, yeah, really. but we have a lot of things.
I love to bowl, but I mean,
I'm eyeballing that gig. Seems like a little less anxiety, maybe, a little less pressure.
Yeah.
So right now, the only thing that's going on fall wise on St. Augustine High School campus is, far as games, is football. Is JV football and varsity football. Hopefully, our gym floor is done by the mid-September. And then we'll start having home games in October for volleyball. But it's a great experience. It's great for me to go out and ride the golf cart around Marsh Creek and watch our golfers golf, go out to the Calhoun Center and watch our swimmers swim and go to some of the cross-country meets. They've all started, so we all in a regular season now. But please come out, support those young girls and boys. They deserve it. I know we talk about football a lot, and Coach Braddock he's one of the examples of he tried to catch a lot of other sports. I don't know how he have time for it, but he's always at another sport event. So he lead by example in that aspect of supporting each other.
Yeah. And there's an old saying that coaches' wives get into heaven first. All right. So tell me about how that works during football season, because you're not just a coach. You also are a physics teacher. I mean, you're participating in these other activities. How do you make that balance and still have time for the family? And I mean, it's there. I don't think there's a more true statement than that, because coaches, you guys in season put in more time than anybody else. I mean, doctor, any other occupation that I can think of.
Yeah, it's definitely something that if you don't have a partner in your wife that views it as this is our mission, then I don't know how somebody can do it. I don't know how I wouldn't be able to do it if it was always me having to apologize for when I'm getting home, and my wife always, when are you coming home? When are you coming home? And I'm fortunate that since before we were married, Jenna has always viewed this as what we do. And she's an exceptionally successful professional, runs her own business herself. I'm glad that she lets me hang around. It's truly incredible what a lot of these wives do. And, some of my best friends I know that are head coaches, and I know what their wives do as well. And it's a sorority of women that, they lean on each other, and they know their value in that is that they truly believe that this is impacting the lives of these boys and giving them an experience that they never would have had otherwise. But yeah, to say the day-to-day is not hard on these ladies would be a joke. Especially when the kids were little, there's many a days you come home and you see the look, and it's just she's had it, like it's hard. And now our boys are in middle school, but like this week, every day, getting them to their football practices and getting them fed and getting them from school when they start school, that's all on her. And there's never a complaint. There's never a, man, I wish you could do this. So I'm very blessed. And I know I speak for a lot of head coaches that feel the same way.
Well, and if we go back to our question of the day, if we go through that list, all of them had wives that were super supportive, and it was a part of the success. And I mean, just think of the list we gave, and they were right there with them, battling through the battles with them. So, gentlemen, we're coming to an end. Is there anything we need to get out there for the Yellow Jacket boosters? For how can our audience help with some of those things, and any other information we need to get out there that you want to talk about?
Well, I just encourage everybody to come out to games on Friday night. I know we do the live broadcast, but all of St. Johns County athletics are self-funded. There's no money coming from the district. It's all in-house. So one of our largest audiences is Friday night football games, and those games support 28 sports. You know what I mean? So, and if you want to reach out to the Booster Club, the website, jacketathleticboosterclub.com is a way that you can always support.
Blake, if you can put that in the
you can always support and help. But just being a community, I think what we want to lean on is being a community of resources, a community that sticks together, and a community that comes together when it's needed. I'm not the AD that constantly goes to businesses and asks for certain things or asks for lump sums of money. I'm one of those guys that we can reciprocate how we treat each other. So if there's a time where you need kids to come out to volunteer, there's times you need kids to just be there for another kid. I'm more of a service leading, of a service leader, of trying to make sure that we can reciprocate things that we do for each other. But the biggest thing is coming out and support our kids. They work extremely hard, and it's not just athletics. And from a St. Augustine High School overall perspective, we got dance, we got art, we got the Center for the Arts, we got the Teaching Academy. We all, the PTO, we all are in this thing together. And the more people we have to support us, the more we can do for our kids that's walking the hallways of St. Augustine High School. So support is all I ask for. And sometimes it comes in monetary form, and sometimes it comes in service form. You know what I mean? So,
and you need both.
I need both, and I'm not going to tell you which one I need more, but I need both.
Don't worry, I'm not afraid to ask for money. So you come to me, I got you. So, Coach, I appreciate you coming in. Quinterrance, appreciate you coming in. We got Blake. How do you want to go through the comments?
All right, so on this Monday, I will maneuver masterfully through the minutia of the commentary.
All right, while he's going through those comments, I got to tell you about B&S Signs. Want your business to get noticed and stay that way? Turn to B&S Signs, proudly family-owned and serving St. Augustine for over 50 years. From bold vinyl lettering to towering pylon signs, they specialize in high-quality custom signage built to last. Their expert team handles everything from design, installation, crane service, repairs, and maintenance with fast, responsive service that keeps your sign looking sharp. Make a lasting impression with B&S Signs. Visit bnssigns.com, because when it comes to signs, they do it all. And also, we're talking about the good Troy at St. Augustine Handy House. Need a custom prefab portable building that's built to last? Come to St. Augustine Handy House, proudly owned by Troy Yacina Enterprise, serving the community since 1988. With over 70 structures in stock, from sheds and barns to carports and offices, you'll find the perfect fit for your needs. Every building includes free delivery, leveling, and anchoring, plus easy finance options. Visit them at State Road 16, open Monday through Saturday, or call 904-823-9092. St. Augustine Handy House, where quality meets convenience and community matters. Blake, what you got in the comments, buddy?
All right, there was no Tim in the comments today, so we didn't get an official Wawa or Costco report, but we did hear Buc-ee's was near 260, though. Kenny was the first comment of the day. Some of the answers for question of the day today include Bobby Bowden, John Madden, and Dabo Swinney. Bobby says that he's happy that we're wearing NC State colors today.
Okay.
Even though I definitely think we're wearing more Buckeyes colors today.
I'm not wearing a Buckeyes color. I'm with you, Bobby. You're not catching me in a Buckeye color.
All right, and Joy's thankful that we're still broadcasting the Yellow Jackets games this year, and we did have an actual question for our guest today from Bobby. And I believe this is more towards Coach Cooper as well, because he was asking about the Florida High School Athletic Association approving NIL for student athletes. Quincy, are you able to talk about that? Like how does benefit the students at St. Augustine High School?
Right now, the NIL hasn't been as big as people want to think it is, but it is in. So we're constantly surveying our athletes to see if they're getting approached by different people for NIL. But right now, it's not as big as people would like to think. I don't think much traction from businesses
At the high school level.
At the high school level.
So early.
Yeah. Well, you got to think. I mean,
I can
you
see
got
it being in tennis players and, individual sports where they're already starting to
Yeah.
strive, and golf. And
most of this
individuals,
NIL stuff for high
individuals.
schoolers is product. It's not actually cash at this point. You have some that's high level, the best in their sport, but right now it's a lacrosse player getting free lacrosse sticks, or it's a baseball player that's a new bat come on the market and he's swinging a new bat or she's swinging a new bat. So right now it hasn't been a big thing at St. Augustine High School, but winning drives a lot of things, and we keep winning, it might become a thing. And for families and these kids, have at it.
No, and sometimes it is necessary, like you said, for the families. I'm kind of torn. It's almost like college football is almost like free agency now, and I'm kind of torn with that.
Yeah, that's not NIL though. That's I think a lot of people in the general public, when they hear it's approved in high school, think it's going to be like college.
No, it doesn't work like that.
That's a salary.
It doesn't work like
Yeah,
it doesn't work like that.
they're
in
paying
high
them in
school. It
college.
doesn't
That's
work
not
like that in
NIL.
high school.
No.
So I'm kind of torn with it, how it's being handled in college. Too early to tell in high school, in my opinion, right now. So, all right, Stordom stat today. On this day in history, 1992, is the day Larry Legend retired. He was 35 years old. Here's a guy, during my middle school and high school days, he was an absolute beast. He won 3 MVPs in a row. And we find out later what a trash talker he was. So, but he's still today, an interview is a great interview. So Larry Bird retired on this day, 1992. It seems like yesterday. And that's brought to us by St. Augie's Pizza. You can't grab a slice today, but grab a slice tomorrow. They're located right there on the corner of MLK and Riberia. Blake, you have any plugs, buddy?
I definitely want to plug and say watch our evening show tonight, Bollocks, this evening. Do we have a special?
We have Mike Davis, the legendary Mike Davis, in studio.
Our landlord.
The revival of Uncommon Ground is happening tonight in Bollocks.
This should be good.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever seen me and Mike together, but we tend to get at each other pretty good. So I want to say thank you to you guys again. Good luck this season. Always welcome to come back. Quinterrance, you have other coaches. If they want to come in and push something, we're here for you guys. We're a part of the community, and Yellow Jackets football.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate
You guys. All right, we'll be back tonight, and Mando will be in with us tomorrow morning. So you guys have a great day.